Now we're ready to do something useful with the class. So far all we've been able to do is set pieces of the time or parts of the time or all of the time and then display what we've set. Now we want to be able to use the class to do something. So what we're going to do is we're going to write an increment method that allows us to increment the time and change it. We're going to do that by minutes so that we'll increment only the minutes part. If we were trying to keep more precise times, we might change seconds instead, but I'm thinking about this class in terms of for an appointment book or something, in which case minutes makes the most sense to increment. So let's write the method. This is a public method because we want complete access to the method. It's a void method though because we're not going to return any data. We're just going to change the number of minutes that are being stored and perhaps the hours as well. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So the first thing we have to do in this method is to increment the minutes by the amount that we're passing in as an argument. So minutes plus equal amount will add amount number of minutes to the current number of minutes. Then, because the minutes might spill over into the next hour, in other words, we might increment minutes to the point where it's beyond 60, we have to write if minutes is greater than 59. We need to do a couple of things here. First, increment hours by 1, and then subtract 60 from minutes. So we'll do a minus equals, if I can type it in there. There we go. To get rid of that new hour that's in. And that should be all we have to do. So we'll close out the method definition. Let's save the file. Now I need to create a new program to work with. So let's clear the screen. Notepad, chap 12, part 5.java. Public class, chap 12, part 5. Public static void main. String args. Time, the time equals new time, and we'll just say 900. Then we'll display the time. System out print line the time dot display. Then we'll increment the time. Let's do it by 1. Then display it again. Then let's increment it by 30. And then display it again. And this time let's increment it by 40 and display it one more time. And that should give us a good feel for seeing if the method works or not. So save the file, compile our test program. So you see what happened. We set the time to 9 o'clock. Then we incremented minutes by 1 to get 9:01. Then we incremented by 30 to get 9:31. And then we incremented by 40 to get 10:11. Now, there's nothing especially clever about this. What I really wanted to point out is that most classes have some reason for existence other than just to keep track of data, although that's really important. So what I wanted to show with this time class was how we could write a method that would actually use the class in some way and modify the data members such that we had to think about what the impact was of our method. That's why I made sure we worked with minutes so that we would knock minutes over into hours and have to modify those. I could have done the same thing with seconds to where seconds would roll over into minutes, but again, I explained why I was working with minutes instead. So that's going to end our overview, our second overview of object-oriented programming. So now we're going to move into the exercises. In our first exercise, we're going to go away from the time class for a minute, and we're going to look at implementing an object-oriented calculator to extend the work we've done with calculators from previous chapters. So that's coming up next.